Humans and elephants have been intrinsically linked throughout history. The earliest evidence of tamed elephants was in the Indus valleys in 2000 BC, and through to the current day, individuals and populations of elephants have continued to be controlled and managed by humans. Characterized by their distinguishable long trunk, big floppy ears, and enormous size, elephants are the largest terrestrial mammal on Earth. Some African elephants weigh up to 8 tons and are capable of consuming 300 kilos of food and 190 litres of water in a single day. Due to their size and diet, they are considered keystone species in the African landscape and as a result strongly impact on biodiversity. Approximately 33% of tree species in the Central African forests are dependent on germination and distribution of seeds through the digestive tract of elephants. Due to their massive size, they can alter the landscape around them through directly affecting the mass and structure of trees. They also create nutrient-rich salt licks and dig water holes as well as footprint holes that can be used as water collection source for other animals. Even their droppings have an impact on their surrounding environment, as species of monkeys and baboons pick through the droppings to find undigested food, and dung beetles reproduce in it. Populations of African elephant were believed to have been between 3 to 5 million. However, due to threats from humans as a result of the ivory trade and the battle for territory, this number was estimated in the Great Elephant Census conducted in 2016 at 352,271. However, in conservation areas that are fenced and protected, populations can increase rapidly and even double in a decade. This has been the case in the Kruger National Park in South Africa, with a small number of individual animals being present at the park's establishment in 1889 to the population exceeding 6,000 by 1967. At these rapidly increasing high densities, the effect of elephants as keystone species is significantly intensified, resulting in a negative effect on biodiversity. This is due to the destruction of the landscape and an imbalanced use of resources such as food and water. In 1965, as a result of concerns of the effects these animals were having on vegetation, the director of the South African National Parks Board, Dr. Rocco Noble, stated the carrying capacity of elephants in the park should be 7,000. As a result of this, a culling management plan was adopted, and between 1967 to 1994, 16,027 animals were removed. Due to the policy being challenged by animal rights groups, a moratorium on the culling pending a policy review was placed, and the populations grew to 10,500 by 2002. In 2002, SANParks, the beneficiary of Kruger National Park, created the Nkulu Exclosures, which provided an opportunity to study the spatial and temporal heterogeneity patterns of vegetation and how these patterns are affected by herbivory from elephants. Direct observation of some of these areas show large trees are declining of up to 40%, which ultimately has a flow-on effect on species richness and diversity. Due to this increased effect on biodiversity, the national South African body responsible, the Minister of Environmental Affairs and Tourism, convened a scientific round table in 2006 to advise him on elephant management policies. This round table resulted in the publication of a norms and standards for elephant management in South Africa that was first drafted in February 2008. These norms and standards look to ensure the sustainability of the ecosystem whilst ensuring the survival of elephants. As an impact of scientific studies showing the effects of culling on surviving populations, this draft also recognised the need for ethical and humane management policies. Due to their sentient nature and ability to communicate and interact in a social group, research has shown that survivors of culled populations experience a sort of post-traumatic stress that has a dramatic influence on the social construct of a herd, altering the way they communicate and interact with each other and strangers. Because of this, other management policies have been adapted, including the use of contraception, range manipulation through management of water or food supply, controlled use of fire and fencing, translocation, and the creation of corridors of movement between the bordering conservation areas in Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Culling is still a policy adapted in the plan, but as a last resort and under the new adaptive management plan that follows thresholds of potential concern. Under this new plan, TPCs are monitored that show upper and lower limits of concern mirroring the fluctuating nature of an ecosystem rather than sticking to a strict population carrying capacity figure. Most importantly, the creation of a long-term research policy was established to aid in future decision-making and planning through scientific assessment and transfer of knowledge to the policymakers. Although a complex ethical debate, the policies surrounding the management of elephant populations in the Kruger National Park continues to adapt and grow through the implications of scientific research and the effect they have on the policy decision.